Bonjour! Welcome to another episode of Cuisine de Michel. I am Michel. So tonight I'm going to be trying out a recipe from lecremdelacreme.com called Instant Pot Beef Tips. Now I've already started this recipe a little bit ahead of time just to gain some time that we didn't have to show you everything on camera. I altered the way that the recipe is supposed to kind of go together. So over here, I've already cooked prior to being on camera. I've got a little over 1.25 pounds of beef it's actually stew meat, and I wanted to brown it. My Instant Pot thing, as I said, it's not a name brand. It is non-stick interior, so it doesn't give that nice browned effect. I mean, it does, but it doesn't get the good caramelization. So I wanted to make sure I'm gonna get some good caramelization. I used my cast iron skillet to do this. And I also cooked up maybe just under 1 pound of mushrooms. That's what I had left from another thing I was making the other day. I quartered those. In the recipe, it actually says to slice them. I quartered them because this is gonna be cooked under pressure. It's definitely going to get them soft enough. So that's been done already, and I did salt and pepper those with kosher salt and cracked black pepper. And now I've got the pot going with the saute function already, so I started that getting heated up. It's already getting a little bit hot here. I put just a tiny bit of olive oil in there, and in the recipe it says a yellow onion. I like red onion better, so I cut up, it says to chop it. I'm going to slice it so it's easier to manage, but we're going to throw that in here to get sauteed really quick. And along with that, it says to do 2 teaspoons of minced garlic, so I'm just going to use some that's already ready to go, a bit faster. And it says to stir that around and saute it for about 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, now that the onion and garlic have been sauteing in here, we're going to go ahead and throw in our remaining ingredients. We've got our mushrooms and beef I was just talking about a little bit ago. Throw those in. Stir that up real quick. Now, since I only had 1.3 pounds of the beef, it actually wanted 2 pounds. So I'm going to reduce the amount of liquid I'm putting in since I don't need as much. I'm just going to put 1 can of the beef broth, along with a 1/2 cup of this wine that you see right here, the Vogel Merlot. No, I'm not being sponsored by them, but that would be really awesome if I were. She lists that as one of the optional things you can put in. I'm using 3 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce and 1 teaspoon of Italian seasoning. And then some salt and pepper. I'd already put some on the beef tips and the mushrooms themselves, so we don't actually need a lot more. I think I'm gonna put just a little bit more salt. Kosher salt is not that strong, so I'm gonna make sure that it's gonna be salty enough. Looks great, smells great already. So now what we're gonna do is cancel our sear setting. Cancel. And I'm going to put my lid on carefully, as always, making sure that I check and make sure my seal is in place. If I can get it to sit in there correctly, that would be great. There we go. Tell that I use this just really often here. Okay, and then we need it to be on sealing, of course. And we're gonna go to our meat stew setting right here. And 30 minutes is actually the right amount of time for this. So we're gonna go ahead and start it. Okay, so the mixture has already finished its pressure cooking cycle, and after the pressure cooking was done, I turned it off and unplugged it and left it for 10 minutes to just release some of its pressure naturally. And now we're going to release the rest of the pressure with the quick release valve. Okay, so now the little pin, or whatever you want to call it, has dropped in there. So now it is safe for us to open the pot. Smells really nice. So now what we're going to do is we're going to plug it back in. And we're going to set it to the soup setting. And on this soup setting, we're going to be adding in a cornstarch slurry. Now, the original recipe had a quarter cup rather, of cold water and 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. I only went 2 because I don't have as much liquid here, so I don't think I need quite as much. And the reason mine is brown is because I actually used water to take out some of that nice fond mixture from the cast iron pot whenever I was finishing that. Anyway, we're going to dump that in here. And that's going to get our mixture started on thickening up. Or maybe not. I don't think how this is supposed to work. It's acting like it's going to go pressure, so I'm going to cancel that and just turn it to sear saute because that's really strange. Or maybe that's what she meant. She did say soup setting. I guess it's just going to keep going until then. Let's just leave it on the soup setting. I've never done it this way. I usually just use the sear saute setting if I'm going to boil something up, but hopefully it's okay. Anyway, once this has thickened up, then we will go to final plating. Okay, this is our final product here. You can see I am going to be serving this with some mashed potatoes, and I hope it's going to be fabulous. It looks really good, smells really great, even if my kid doesn't think so. And I'm also going to have a nice little side salad to go with it, and definitely a nice glass of wine. Anyway, thank you again for joining me for another episode of Cuisine de Michel. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Pretty please subscribe. It doesn't cost a dime. And we will see you next time. Au revoir.